I'm going to tell you something that I told my wife, and she got offended when I said this back in 2019. She goes, you need to step up. And she was right. First and foremost, anytime our wives tell us to step up as fathers, they're right. Mm-hmm. When they tell us that we need to step up as husbands, they're right 9 out of 10 times. Mm-hmm. So when she told me you need to step up as a father, right? I looked at her, we were in the master bedroom, and I go, babe, I said, I understand how you feel, but I want to let you know that my sole purpose on this earth isn't to just be a great father. Mm. She didn't understand that. Mm. She got offended. She actually started yelling and crying. She's like, what? I've never even heard a father say something like that. Guess what? 3 years later, she understood it.
Yeah.
My sole purpose on this earth, right, during this journey isn't just to be a great father. Now, I want to be a great father, and I'm going to do my best to be a great father. Mm-hmm. But look at everything else we're doing. We're serving people. Mm-hmm. We're building beautiful things, machines, right? So you guys are right. You know, I believe that because their purpose is so gigantic, mm-hmm. they even have less margin and less room to be husbands and fathers, if that makes any sense.
This is actually the book. Remember the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, that small book that you took from me and never gave it back? It was stolen. It's fine. I know.
Damn, what?
It's fine.
Oh, the little one. I got to find it.
I know.
It's probably in my pocket.
He didn't care about
somewhere.
it, right? So here's what happened.
It took him like 17 days to read that one book, right?
I don't even think he read the book. I think he just took it and then never gave it back. But it's fine.
I just wanted it.
I know.
So in the 7th spiritual law is the law of Dharma. The law of Dharma is your mission in life. Let's go back to science. For us to be born, each one of us, it's 1 in 500 trillion. For your sperm cell to fight the billions of other sperm cells to get to the egg, the chances are 1 in 500 trillion. That's like you win the lottery for $1 billion lottery 6, 7, 8 times in a row. So if you fought so hard to connect with the egg, how big do you think that as you're fighting, your mission was to get to that egg, to come out here and to accomplish, was so big that when you got here, you probably promised yourself you're going to forget what it was to remember who you are.
Mm.
I also think that being a father or being a mother it's more of a duty than it is a purpose, right? Because most parents, me and Phil talk about this, most parents treat their children as if they are their property. You are here to guide them. They are another conscious soul.
Yes.
They are God's child, right?
Yeah,
so also, cool, you tell us that your children are your purpose. Well, what happens when your child moves out? You just lost your whole purpose of life? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So they can be at the top, they can be a duty, just like your lady can be a priority, but if she is the priority, well, how are we going to feed the family? How are we going to take care of everything? So a priority and the priority are different things.
Yes.
Can we look at this from a spiritual level and like a 30-foot view? Ready? Back to what you said about you fighting to penetrate that egg and become a living organism, right? Mm-hmm. Well, think about that. The reason why I believe that happens is because at some point, every human being that is born has a purpose.
Yes.
But most human beings never even seek the purpose that they were, right? They get caught up in the matrix. They get caught up in the daily, what's that called? The nuances, right? Of like the programming and everything that's working against us every day, right? So they never even explore, I wonder what I was really put on this earth to do, right? And watch this. We're going to look at this from a bigger scale, the way this man Yeezy thinks, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, you got to think of we're human beings. We're one creation here, right? Yep. And I believe that you were put on this world to improve that creation.
Yeah.
For the next generation and the next generation and the next generation and the next generation. Now, that's you as a being, as a human being. If you choose to seek, find, and execute on that purpose, yes?
Yes.
Let's take it back to the other side now. Our daughters and our sons, right? He's right. They're not your property. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to program them to become powerful human beings that are also going to fight the good fight of good versus evil and continue to improve evolution and continue to improve humanity. You see that? So both sides actually have the responsibility of doing it. If you really think of the grand scheme of things, if we as human beings didn't mess everything up the way we do through division, through race, through freaking, financial, right, scrutiny, all this other stuff, if you think about it, as a collective, if we all united and say, how can we make humanity better together?
You just fired me up. So one quote that came to me is the United States won. Divided we fall, united we stand. That's one. Second, what comes to me, the movie The Incredibles, when we were kids, right? Look at this family where the kids had a superpower, the parents had a superpower,
The daughter has a superpower.
everybody had a superpower,
The baby.
and they were demonized. Because what happens is, for people like us who are conscious and are walking the God's path,
Woke folk.
like
Like Cat Williams. No, he has a big old necklace that says woke folk. Have you seen it?
because he knows he started.
Bro, Cat Williams is, oh my
He's
God, bro.
tapped.
I love that
He
dude.
started reading
Bro,
these
he's
books
tapped
when
in.
he was like 12.
Cat Williams is tapped in.
He said he left his house when he was 12, so he knew. But what happened when you look at that is when you train your kids to watch greatness in you, us as leaders, and they're gonna replicate, because right, it's not what's taught, it's what's caught. So when they watch daddy achieving, going through fire, hell, brimstone, being antagonized, being demonized, but they come home and know who daddy is, then they know that this is the fight that's worth fighting. The reason why we chose to name our son Atlas Ledger LeConte, going back to All In, Hannah says, well, he's all ours. And I said, no, but he's also all in, right? And that's so powerful, because let's go back to Kanye real quick, and I'm going to stop. But Kanye, when he went through his rant, when he was like saying a bunch of crazy stuff, right, exposing the industry, something happened to me, because as a young black male, I didn't know that there were people in the industry that had to do certain things to get to a certain place. And as he kept exposing this, it was the time where it was Kanye and it was the Kyrie, and my heart was hurting because
They were demonized.
they were demonized. Kanye took a different route than Kyrie. Kyrie was pretty woke, and he was just like, he would go on live and say, hey, young people, it's time to get grounded. It's time to wake up. It's time to start the process. And us, while we're here, which we're going to on topic later, we're here to start the process. It may not be us that makes the change, but we're going to activate the change. We're going to wake up a lot of people to their superpower, and we probably won't see the aftermath, but someone's going to have to be here to clean it up. And I feel that we are the ones, a part of the kingdom, that are going to express. That's what this podcast is, right? It's exposing the truth of what it takes to climb the mountain, to the hero's journey that me and Garrett call it. Is we were chosen, and it's not always beautiful, right? Like when you're chosen, you're like, oh shit, all right, strap the helmet, buckle up, let's get to war, right? And we go out and do the good fight.
Well, and the most important part of that is it's not really it is important to understand if you are chosen, but are you willing to answer the call? Right. And
that's
clearly Kanye is willing to answer the call. And that's why I don't think that it's important for him to be happy. For me, I want to suffer by design. Right. And so when you look at the word suffer in English, it reminds you of pain. Every person I've said suffer to, they're like, why do you say suffering? I was here to suffer. I think we talked about it in Sedona a little bit. But if you look at the root word of suffer in Latin, it means suferi. And suferi means to endure with resilience. Isn't that what all of life is enduring resiliently? Don't you have to endure resiliently to build? Don't you have to endure resiliently when you tackle giants like Kanye is? So remember, suffering is not painstaking. Suffering is enduring with resilience. So it's not, nowhere in there did it say, while you endure, you should be happy. It said you should endure with resilience.
It's like you said, you are chosen, but then to answer the calling as well too, and to answer it to what extent. Right? Chances are each and every one of us has been called to do the same thing that Kanye is doing, but are we willing to go to that extent, to lose our family, to lose our our children, to have to be secluded by everybody, to be demonized? Are some people willing to do that, right? To that level. And it's just like, it's like a superhero movie, right? That at the end of the movie, the superhero is going to still be alive and he's still going to be victorious, right? But even though throughout you're watching it, it's like trouble, trauma, challenges, faces. Like, you're seeing all of this middle action that most people are like, I already know what's down that road and I'm not willing to do that. Right. Even though I know on the other side of that path is much, much greater than I could even believe. Maybe this is where I kind of stop. Right. So there's levels to the accepting the calling as well too.
100% agree.
So real quick, so you know, I think with Kanye West, all sin leads to death. I don't necessarily know. I mean, I know what he's put on this earth to do, and he knows it too, clearly, right? He knows it's much bigger than him. It's much bigger than anything that's going around him. It's even much bigger than his own ex-wife or children, right? Now, could he have made some better decisions? Absolutely. You know, again, he had a type. He knew what he wanted, but he knew the dice he was rolling. He seen it. He saw the pattern with Kim Kardashian. He saw the divorces. He saw the men that came and went, the Kardashian curse. He saw that. He knew what he was getting himself into. But why did he do it still? Because he's Kanye. Because that's what he always wanted.
We
I think it
all want
also-
what we want, man. It's like good.
Well, I was going to say, I think it also comes into it all had to happen that way. Otherwise, we wouldn't have got to this point, right? So a lot of the times we'll sit here and say, well, why
God
did they
knew he
do
was
that?
going to choose that path, but eventually,
Correct.
you know what I mean? Course correct. You know?
Well, it's kind of like the video games like Fallout, right? And those games, you can win the game 1,000 different ways,
There you
right? And so he just chose a different way, but there was always going to lead to a certain result.
True.